Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to today's unseen video. The big talking point, of course, is the next 48 hours. We do have Crown Jewel coming up and very excited for that show. We've got a Smackdown coming up as well. Both of those are early because they're in Australia. In America, though, Smackdown is going to air at its usual time because it's going to be taped. It won't air live. You are going to see a taped version. So as a result, we're going to do two Smackdown streams. One for when it goes live, one for when it airs later in America. And then, of course, we will be live for Crown Jewel as well. I think rather than bombarding you with information and times and all this kind of stuff, if you just have a look at the Wrestling Daze channel, you'll be able to see when our watch-alongs are scheduled to begin, and that will help you kind of figure out when the shows are going to air. So, yeah, lots of stuff going on over the next 48 hours. It's very, very messy. We are in Perth, Australia, hence the early start times. And this is what we're looking at for SmackDown. So Tiffany and Stephanie taking on Julia and Kiana. Sammy is going to do an open challenge, and I think a lot of people are thinking it's going to be Grayson Waller that's going to answer that. It would feel like an Australian would make sense. Then we got Damian against Alistair. That's the last man standing match. And we got the Wyatt Six against the Street Profits. That's for the tag titles. But they've been teasing a lot of drama with the Street Profits. Could we actually see them split on SmackDown? We could get quite a big moment if they do. So, yeah, a few things to keep an eye out for. SmackDown doesn't look too bad, to be honest. Right, Santos Escobar was apparently lined up to defeat Vikingo for the AAA Mega Championship at one point, and Los Garza were going to win the AAA World Tag Team Championships. So it looks like this group was going to get all the gold. Legado was going to get all the gold. That was the direction that was discussed, but then plans changed, and Dominic Mysterio ended up being the one to dethrone Vikingo. So just interesting that those are some plans that had been discussed, obviously changed, and we went in a different direction, but still something worth knowing. This is also worth knowing. Johnny, thank you. So, I mean, look, my take on this, all joking aside, we totally expected NXT to win in the ratings battle on Tuesday. NXT was going up against TNA. They'd really hyped it up. As well as that, Tuesday is NXT's night. We know that whenever a show changes days, it also suffers in the ratings. So AEW moving from Wednesday to Tuesday, it meant AEW was probably going to suffer. And that has kind of shown itself in the ratings. NXT, AEW going up against each other this week. Who would win the ratings war? We expected it to be NXT, and it was NXT. So the final big data panel, Nielsen ratings are in. NXT pretty much destroyed AEW, but there was some good news for both. So total viewers, NXT did 625,000 viewers. That's actually up 9%, which is good. But obviously this was a really big show. This was NXT against TNA. You would have expected it to have been strong. It beat 321,000 that tuned in for AEW Dynamite. So Dynamite did 3-2-1, which obviously is not good. But again, you have to remember this is Dynamite on a Tuesday rather than a Wednesday. The good news for NXT is that they were up from last week in both total viewers and the demo, right? So we saw an increase. That's good. The good news for Dynamite, the audience they got was higher than the old Nielsen system. So it seems like someone worked out what the rating would have been under the old system, and their number would have been lower. The new system seems to have given them actually a better result. So that's how it's ended anyway. 625,000 watched NXT, 321,000 watched AEW. But of course, that doesn't tell the whole story. As we said, we know that this was a different night for AEW, and they were expected to lose as a result. Right, Zayda Steel, this is interesting. So, shout out to you. So Zayda Steel said, I've decided to not renew my WWE contract, her ID contract. She said, I'm incredibly grateful for all the knowledge and experience and opportunity that I've gained along the way. At the end of the day, I just got to do what's best for me. I'm only 21. I've already done so much, but I'm just getting started. Thank you. I find that really interesting. Why would you walk away from WWE when it feels like there's a very clean path forwards? I mean, she's in Evolve. She's used on a regular basis. She's only 21. You know, she'll be in the developmental system for a good few years. She's maybe looking at maybe going to Japan, or maybe there's been an offer from AEW, or I don't know. Very interesting. I don't know why she would turn that down, but you just don't know what kind of conversations are being had behind the scenes. Maybe this will make a bit more sense when we see what her next move has been. As well as that, we've got this, Kylie Rae. So Brady, thank you. Kylie Rae said, today I share that my time with WWE ID has come to an end. As I was informed, my contract will not be renewed. I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunities, memories, and the people I met along the way. Thank you to everyone that supported me during this chapter. It means the world. As for the next chapter, I'm so ready to meet you once I pop this baby out, of course. So she is pregnant. I don't know if WWE are thinking, let her go away. Her contract has just naturally come to an end. So, you know, let her go away, have a baby, and then we can potentially bring her back, get her under a new deal. I don't know why they would, you know, not want to renew her. I can sort of understand why they've decided to not do it at this time. She's pregnant. It's the way that businesses work, you know, that's kind of the situation. Right, Mitchell, thank you. Big E said that his career is kind of behind him. So I feel like the more I hear from Big E talking about his career, the more it seems like that is a door that he feels is closed now. His in-ring, anyway. Obviously, he does a lot of panels and all that. But yeah, I think for a while now, it's kind of felt like we're not really waiting for a result. I think he had his results. His results are that everything is okay. He's got a great quality of life, but any kind of knocks or anything like that, and that could change, and that's a risk that he's not willing to take. So that kind of feels like where we are at the moment. I don't think that's going to change. So probably not the most surprising news, but he appeared on Stephanie's podcast, so you can hear quite a bit of Big E's thoughts on various different things in wrestling, including his own career. So NXT was doing a live event tonight. It's actually doing live events over the next few days. We've got a bit of news coming out of that show. This concerning Brady, thank you. So here, Jacy Jayne apparently got the X after her match and she limped off. So we might have a Jacy Jayne situation where she might have picked up an injury. Hopefully nothing serious. Here's the footage, right? So here, if we turn the sound down, you can see Jacy Jayne on the floor. Referees are checking on her. This looks legit, to be honest. Obviously, hard to know how bad. You don't actually see the ref giving the X. But apparently someone that was there says that she did get the X. So, yes, concern in regards to Jacy Jayne. We'll have to get an update on that. Nothing online at this point. Then this went down. Omos came out and made his presence felt. So here's Omos. He was a surprise appearance. People weren't expecting Omos to feature. You never know where and when he's going to pop up, though. But Omos making his way out. It does make me wonder if they're going to use him on NXT TV in the near future. Could this have been a warm-up for like a TV moment? We know that they use the live events to kind of rehearse some things they're going to do on TV. They did the blindfold match at a live event a few weeks before doing it on TV. Could it be that Omos is going to work a program with, I believe this was Lexis King? You know, could be. And in fact, that brings us quite nicely to the results. So here are the results from NXT Columbus. So, TNA champ Trick Williams beat Shiloh Hill, the winner of LFG Season 2. That's kind of fun. Candice LeRae beat Kendall Gray. I bet that was a great match. The Los Americanos were there as well. They beat Chase U. TNA Knockouts champion Kalani Jordan beat Thea Hale. DIY with Hank and Tank beat Dark State. Omos, as we just saw, came out and he went up against Lexis King and beat him. After he beat him, Lexis wanted a rematch and he beat him again, which is pretty fun. And then there was an NXT Women's North American champion and Women's Speed champion Sol Ruka and Zarya. They beat Jacy Jayne and Fallon. Here, look, note, JC possibly injured, limped out the arena. NXT North American Championship title champion Ethan Page beat Miles Bourne. And then our main event, NXT champ Ricky Saints beat Josh Briggs, Obafemi, and Javon. So I'm guessing that was like a fatal four-way. But that's what a show. I wish that had been shown live on Peacock or ESPN or YouTube. I'd have loved to have watched that. A bit of sad news here. So this is Mo of Men on a Mission. He is really battling illness at the moment. I think he's got like a blood infection and it's really not looking good. So he is really battling for his life in hospital right now. There's a few really moody pictures of him looking really not great. I included this one. This one doesn't look so bad, to be honest, but thoughts very much with Mo at the moment as he is battling in hospital. Right, next we got this from Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler. He said, I wrote a really long email to Vince, Hunter, Bruce, Ed, maybe someone else, and it was like a compliment sandwich. I said, this is the greatest thing ever. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. You're using me in a role that a local would be in, but you're paying me the WrestleMania main event money. This is bad for you. This is bad for me. No one wrote back except for Vince. He said, wow, this is incredible. This is a lot to read. I'm not sure what to do. I said, Vince, I'll fly to Stamford tomorrow and we can finish this. And Vince said, give me a week to think about it. I really want to figure this out. I said, okay. And then the next week I was on the list of people who were released. So it worked. So there we go. So Nick Nemeth said that he actually actively worked towards getting his release from WWE, and that's how he went about it. Isn't it crazy to think that that's an email that Dolph Ziggler sent, basically saying, you're paying me all this money, I'm not doing anything really to deserve that, so that they would ultimately let him go, so that he could hopefully get back to wrestling and being a big deal in some different promotion. So, yeah, I just thought that was really, really interesting, really insightful. Right, yeah, this is wild. So, Edward, thank you. So, here, look, we've got this. It looks like it's UK-based. So, this is news that will make you feel like your funny bones have been trapped in an armbar. Clash of the Comics is coming to you. It's your favourite comedians, Ed Gamble, Phil Wang, Macy Adams, James Acaster, Rosie Jones, to name a few. But more info once we're out of this headlock. That looks like Cara Noir. That's Cara Noir, who is from Progress, someone who I really admire, really like. It looks like they've taken comedians and maybe Progress wrestlers or independent wrestlers, and it looks like there's some sort of TV series on the way here in the UK, which is called Clash of the Comics. So, I mean, I believe this to be true. It'd be a wild thing to make up if it wasn't. So it looks like there could be a wrestling comedy show dropping in the UK very soon. So very interesting. So yeah, Edward, thank you. Lots of things going on at the moment. ARC Gaming, thank you. Here is Bayley saying that she's going to be in Australia. She's going to be in Melbourne, so Perth, Melbourne, Tokyo as well. And it looks like she's going to be in a tag team with Lyra. She is very excited to be a tag team. So it looks like Bayley and Lyra are going to be teaming up together for these forthcoming dates. This is crazy. So, apparently there was a couple of people arrested in San Diego that had been stealing loads of action figures, wrestling figures. Apparently the guy even had like a bit of a following on Instagram. And this is just crazy. So, it's been reported in The Independent. And yeah, like their big collection. Apparently they'd been like going to Walmarts and Targets and stealing figures and all of this kind of stuff. And there's a few pictures of the collection, so it's crazy. So, pair arrested after police seize stolen wrestling action figures worth thousands. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. It doesn't really go into too much detail. It does name the pair, but I mean, I don't know who they are. And it just said that they were apparently stealing figures, Walmart, Target, worth thousands. And they've built up this collection. As I said, the guy's even been showing it off on like social media, as you would expect. So, yeah, crazy. Crazy. I've never heard of that happening before, to be honest. Okay, right, let's go into our fun folder, shall we? See what we've got in here. So, Mitchell, thank you. So, here's Ron Killins. He said, my bad. I overslept. Perth, Austria is 22 hours from Charlotte, North Carolina. I won't make it in time. So he's looking at completely the wrong place here. I mean, to be honest with you, he still wouldn't make it to Australia, but he's just showing how much it would cost to get to Austria. I think it would be even more to get to Australia, and it would take longer as well. So he has got confused, but it still wouldn't make much of a difference, to be honest. He still ain't going to make it in time. So there's R-Truth online getting confused again. Right, Brady, thank you. So here is Ellen. She said, awkward. The Crown Jewel program has got Carrion and Scarlett in it. So Carrion and Scarlett feature in, there's a whole page for Carrion and Scarlett in the Crown Jewel program. That's crazy, isn't it? Carrion's even responded to this with like a kind of fist bump emoji. So there we go. That is crazy. I don't think it means anything, but just that it got printed before they were released. And this was crazy as well. So here's Paul Heyman responding to Braun Strowman. You might remember that Braun Strowman had a few words for Paul Heyman when Heyman said that Roman had never been stretchered out before. And obviously, you know, we'd seen that had happened when he had kind of feuded with Braun. So he had a few words, and here's Heyman having a few words back. He said, "Dear Mr. Strowman, your post was brought to my attention. I have nothing negative to say about you, nor to you, sir. In fact, I'm actually relieved and indeed celebratory to learn that you're still alive. Something most of us didn't realize and even fewer cared about. With love and respect, Paul Heyman." Oh, mate. It felt nice, felt good, went really dark. Something most of us didn't realize and even fewer cared about. Oh, my God. He didn't have to do him like that. He didn't have to do him like that, did he? Right, in the community is WrestleBuzz. So WrestleBuzz said, "This was my first Halloween Horror Nights. On the anniversary of Bray's return to WWE, I just happened to run into one of the masterminds behind Bray's character." So there is WrestleBuzz going to the Halloween Horror Nights and bumping into Jason Baker. How about that? How crazy is that? What an amazing moment. It was just meant to be, wasn't it? It's as simple as that. It was just meant to be. So I thought that was fantastic. Right, we've got some thanks to get to, and then I'm going to run away, go to bed. There is quite a few images of wrestlers over in Australia, but yeah, not as many actually as I expected. A little bit of charity work and things like that, but I didn't feel like you guys like desperately needed to see those bits. So I kept it concise, tight. Of course, we're going to be back very soon with Smackdown watch along, so I thought I would keep it simple. So there we go. So Huddle Talk, Raymond, Mr. T1000, Chris, Edward, Chanel, He Who Smiles, Carl, Cal L, Claire, Michael, and Silverback. Appreciate the retweets, appreciate the support. Guys, if you are joining us for Crown Jewel this weekend, leave a like on that stream. It really is appreciated. We need to try and get like 500 likes, something like that. It would be good. I am a bit worried about it because obviously it's going to be starting at a really early time. I have no idea how many people are going to join us for that stream. I would imagine it won't be as many as usual, so might need a little bit of help with that one. But yeah, appreciate all the support for the videos and the channel, and appreciate you. And hopefully I'll see you at some point over this weekend, be it for one of the Smackdown streams, be it for Crown Jewel, maybe for Bound for Glory. We are going to do that on Sunday. I'm sure I will see you at some point. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.